Where he's going to make a final push for this whole tax code overhaul. But, you know, I got to tell you, and I've been telling you, there's a lot of red flags. And I'm bringing them up because we need to talk about these things right now, especially when it comes to corporations versus individuals. Here on set with me, our very own Charlie Gasparino, who I think is equally concerned that, you know, they promised all this on the individual side and they're not offering any of it.
I think when you boil this down, we have a very small tax cut for individuals that don't make a lot of money and don't pay a lot of federal income tax. If you want to help working class people and middle class people that pay, they don't pay most of their federal taxes in income tax. They pay it in the payroll tax. So you're really giving them a fig leaf tax cut. You're jamming a lot of other people on this bill, like particularly if you make a few bucks and you live in New York and New Jersey, Connecticut, California. You don't even have to be rich in these states. And, you know, you're a family of five, you make $200,000 a year. It's a good chance that you're going to, and that's not rich, as you know, in New York. Nothing even close to it. You are treated like Warren Buffett, even worse than Warren Buffett, because Warren Buffett takes most of his pay through his corporation, right? So he gets the lower taxes. So, I mean, you're jamming those people, and then you're turning around and you're paying for a huge corporate tax cut, which I'm in favor of, but in the context of overall tax reform. And you know what's really annoying about this? You know, Gary Cohn is a guy who's behind a lot of this. He's the former #2 at Goldman Sachs. He's going to be, you know, I'm sure all his Wall Street friends love the fact that, you know, he's cutting their corporate tax rate, and it's going to like, if you own shares in Goldman, it'll probably go up because of that. But he's screwing over individuals by doing this. Unless they do something. Unless,
of course, you're one of those fat cat private equity investors. Do we have the tape on this? Can we roll this? I want you to see this.
This is another abomination.
Check this out, everyone.
There are reasons the hedge fund managers are all donating to Hillary Clinton's campaign and not to mine. Everybody getting rich off the rigged system and who want nothing to change and nothing. They don't want anything to change. They want to keep it the way it is, are throwing their money at Hillary Clinton.
We will eliminate the carried interest deduction, well-known deduction, and other special interest loopholes that have been so good for Wall Street investors and for people like me, but unfair to American workers.
The hedge fund guys won't like me as much as they like me right now. I know them all, but they'll pay more.
Except they're not going to pay more.
Well, you know, here's the thing, that he's using a sleight of hand. If you look at the way the tax thing rolls out on that exemption known as carried, it's something that allows you to take
equity
it doesn't affect hedge fund investors.
No, and that's an important distinction.
Right, it
that's actually a very important distinction.
Let's explain to the viewers what a hedge fund guy does. He trades in and out of stock fast, right? So he doesn't. If you get a carried interest benefit, that's for stuff that you hold for a number of years before you sell it, and then you get the lower tax rate.
But we should also
emphasize private equity.
Private equity investors, that's the name of the game. They always hold their investments for at least 3, 5, 10 years.
Maybe Gary Cohn is channeling Steve Schwarzman, who runs Blackstone, to say, here's how you thread the needle, Mr. President, and say this without directly lying. You just say the hedge fund guys get screwed, which they will get screwed on. It doesn't affect them, right? They're still going to pay higher taxes. And don't say anything about private equity, because your private equity people, these rich guys that run Blackstone, Carlyle, go down the line. Mitt Romney ran a private equity firm, Bain Capital, back in the day. They're going to still be able to maintain their carried interest.
I find that so atrocious, Charlie, to think that, you know, like a cop in New York City or a firefighter, percentage-wise, is paying more than Steve Schwarzman. I mean, come on.
It's really bad because, you know, what they've done is they've basically screwed over Republicans in these areas like Long Island, in California. Those are places like Peter King is the representative from Long Island. He's against this. Why is it? His district isn't filled with a bunch of fat cats. It's filled with modestly people who work, make a few bucks, that are going to get killed. And by the way, Reagan gave everybody a tax cut, not just some people.
And that's what they promised. And they're not doing it. They're not doing it because, you know what, those little people don't have anybody out there lobbying for them, like the private equity guys do, or the corporations.
You're right. And who's the lobby group for the family of four making $200 grand on Long Island?
Well, I like to think of myself as a lobby.